Hi guys, welcome to the 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp. So you are one of those people who take action in their life to do something so that you can achieve your goals in your life. So that's why I want to congratulate you on this thing. And guys, congratulations that you have taken the decision to join this amazing framework of the 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp. So you are one of those few people who have taken the right decision to do something in their life. Okay. So I will just share my presentation to you and we will quickly go for the day number 1 and we will just go ahead and understand all those things about the right language learning mechanism and all these things that are necessary for all of you to understand in your life. Okay, let's start. Once again, welcome to the 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp. So you are going to be very confident at the end of the day 5. That is what my promise to you. Okay, so this is the 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp as you are the part of it now, and you are going to understand some amazing things. You are going to bust some myths. You are going to clear the mind blocks, and you are also going to learn the amazing language learning mechanism. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to understand some important things. So 2 things I want to tell you here itself. You need to note them down. So guys, this is an action-based training. This is not a lecture series that you are just watching the videos and you are just getting something, not like that. This is an action-based training. You need to take action every single day, which will help you to get maximum benefit from this course. Okay. And second, you need to watch the videos every day and you need to complete the task and post the task itself in the group after watching the video. Okay. As you are there itself in our exclusive WhatsApp group, you need to watch the video. There is a task at the end of the video you need to complete. There may be 2-3 tasks. Just complete them. Small tasks are there. It is not something very difficult that I'm telling you. So it's a very simple thing that you need to complete and you need to post the task in the group itself. Clear? Now let's try to understand some important things. So in this presentation on day number 1, we are going to understand few elements. They are nothing but who am I? I'm going to share so many things about me. Then why did I make this course? What is my purpose behind making this 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp, and what to expect from this? We are going to understand this thing and then we will dive into the day 1, the language learning mechanism. Okay, now let's try to understand some things about me. Who am I? Here is the photograph and here is I'm talking to you right now. Okay, so I'm Kamlesh Abba More. I'm from Maharashtra itself. I have developed all these things in terms of development of my language learning experience, my English language, and everything being in a regional medium school. So I have completed my education in the village area. After that, I have completed it at Taluka places. And then I have completed my post-graduation. That is what I'm going to tell you. Okay. Now, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm communication skills and English language trainer. I improve people's lives by helping them to improve their English grammar and communication skills. That is what my mission. It's very clear and it's very specific though. So I want to help 1 lakh people. I am on a mission to help 1 lakh people in my life to improve their English grammar. Whatever the fear that they are holding, I want to clear that and I want to help these people in their life. And you are also one of them that you have seen my advertisement on Facebook. And because of that, you have joined this particular course. And that's why I want to help you to do something wonderful in your life. Next. So I'm the founder of Swara Ankuram Academy. So you can easily understand that this word is something different that you have seen. You may have seen this particular name for the first time. The name is Swara Ankuram Academy. Now, what is the purpose of putting this particular name here? How did I come up with this particular name? What is the reason behind it? So let me clear one thing. So Swara Ankuram, if you simply break these words into 2, you will be able to see 2 different words. Swara Ankuram. So as I'm a language trainer, I believe in training people to improve their language learning experience. So I say that swar is nothing but vowel in English. Ankuram is nothing but beginning of something in English. So that's why the name is Swara Ankuram Academy. So when a child learns any specific language at that time, he or she starts with vowel sounds, e, something like that. And that is what the beginning of language is. And that is what the name of this particular academy is. Swara Ankuram Academy. So that's why I founded this academy under this name of Swara Ankuram. Okay. So this is something unique I wanted to keep, and that is what I have come up with this particular name, that is Swara Ankuram Academy. Okay. Now, let me tell you my story, guys. I'm a person who has genuine interest since childhood to improve this particular language. I was always fond of this particular language. So let's try to understand some things about my early education journey. So when I was in 7th standard in my primary school education, where there was Marathi medium school, I realized that reading is an important part. Our teacher used to come to us, our English teacher, he used to come to this class, and he used to tell them, you stand up and you need to read. That's it. Every single day, I used to read in the class, nothing else. In my school, I used to read every single day. It became habit. I also used to go home and I also used to do the same thing. I used to read at least for 20 to 30 minutes. And I did this practice almost for a year in the entire 7th standard. What I did, I only focused on understanding reading. And what is the outcome of this thing? As I started reading regularly, it helped me to strengthen the muscles. Now there are so many muscles that you need to train to speak this language. To speak any language, you need to make right pronunciation. To make the correct pronunciation, it is important that your lip movement should be proper, larynx and pharynx. Whenever a sound comes out of your mouth, it comes because of vibrations. And those vibrations are created, and it is easy to speak any specific thing. So that is what the most essential part is. So it helped me to strengthen my muscles. It helped me to build my muscle memory. And it also helped me to gain the confidence that if I can read properly, I can definitely speak properly. This was my 7th standard. Now, after 7th standard, I went to 8th standard and I took semi-English. So there was a scheme of semi-English medium. Nowadays, most of the schools are English medium only, or a few of the schools are semi-English. So then I realized that I need to learn some subjects in English. So far, I was learning everything in Marathi only. Now I need to learn something that is in English, complete English. I need to write down the paper in English only. And I created that enthusiasm. I created that curiosity that how I can learn these things. When the results came at that time, I was the topper in science. It built my confidence to write properly. So reading, writing, it was taken care of. And up to that part, I used to give speeches in Marathi language. Okay. Whenever there used to a speech competition in my school, I used to go in front of the students, in front of my classmates, and I used to give speeches on these specific occasions. So after that, when I understood that I can also give a speech in English, when I was in 10th standard, I was able to speak English fluently. That is what my journey, that is what my story, that in just this 7th to 10th, I improve my own skills on my own. I did not join anything. I did not take help from many people, but I also tried to understand one thing, that how I can do this particular part, how I can work on this particular thing. So this intuition came to me automatically, and it helped me to gain this expertise in terms of understanding these things. And when I went in 12th standard, actually, I was not happy with my score in 10th standard. And that's why I prepared hard. I referred some reference book when I was in 12th standard. I haven't referred enough books when I was in engineering, but I have referred good books to improve my communication skills, English grammar and everything. And I referred them in 12th standards only. And I became topper of my school. I became topper of the board in board examination. I scored 90 out of 100 marks in English. And that made me realize that I really have something to do with this particular language. But though, there is one thing that I would tell you here itself, that why did I take admission to engineering? You may be surprised. Every single person, they get surprised when all of the people come to me and they get to know about my story, and when they ask me, as you have completed engineering, why did you become a trainer in English? Instead of answering directly, I ask a question to them. Do you know that why did you complete your graduation? Most of the people say that we don't know why did we choose this particular thing. Same thing happened with me. In that time, 3 Idiots movie was released. I was very happy. I watched the movie. I got influenced by that movie, and I directly took admission for engineering. Not only I, but there were so many friends that we all went for engineering. Few of us, they went for medical field and any other graduation, but most of the people went for engineering, and I was one of them. So in this particular thing, what happened in my entire engineering journey, I was not happy with whatever that I was learning, but I was happy with one thing, that I used to speak in English with many people there itself. And I also used to understand that, yes, this is something that is making me happy. When I speak in English, I became happy. Okay. When I simply go and give a presentation, let it be a small presentation of 2-3 minutes. It gives me something amazing feeling that, yes, this is what I'm made for. So in this way, I understood the importance of English in my life. On the other hand, there were some of my friends, they were struggling to speak English. They were joining different classes. They were trying to understand so many things. They were working on tenses. though I was able to understand that I'm already good in this thing, and why these guys are just doing this particular part. So then I realized that this is something that I need to do. But as I was in engineering, I had to complete it. And I completed from the University of Pune in electronics and telecommunication. So basically, I'm an ANTC engineer, but I do not have any kind of interest in that. Okay. I only have interest in training, and I became trainer. But my credit also goes to engineering, that I was able to analyze so many people in my own language learning research. And and I also give credit to this engineering journey, to this entire academic. For what purpose? Because it gave me lots of confidence. It helped me to analyze so many people, and it helped me to improve my language learning experience as well. So after that, when it comes to my language learning experience, I have realized that so many people have blocks in their mind. They have some psychological barrier. They do not even know that what are these things that I need to work on. And that is why it made me to improve so many things in myself. And I understood that if I can improve myself, why should I not help people to improve their own skills? And for that purpose, I came up with this amazing thing that is nothing but I need to change people. I need to help people to change their life. I have trained so many people so far in my life who were struggling for this particular skill. So far, I have trained so many people in my life. And here also in our group, there are so many people that they are lawyers, they are chartered accountants, they are engineers, they are doctors, they are teachers, they are managers. We have people from different things. They are students, they are pursuing their graduation, they have completed their post-graduation, and now they are looking for something. So we have variety of people here itself. And our common goal is to learn English, improve our language learning experience, and have a successful career growth in life. That is what the important thing is. And that is why I have decided to bring these two important things. The 5-day English Grammar Mastery Bootcamp, you are the part of this program now, and the 4-week English Grammar Mastery Challenge. So people are changing their life by understanding so many things which are necessary to learn. So that is what all about me. So it is very important to tell something about me so that you can get connected with me with all these things, that yes, this is the person who is going to teach us. Okay. So that is why I have told you all those things. So this is all about me. That is what I am in front of you now. You have been waiting for this amazing workshop, this amazing bootcamp, and I'm here in front of you. And this is what's all about me. So why did I make this course? Very important question. So what happened? I came across many people and I found so many friends that they were asking about this particular tips and tricks, that please tell me something, please guide me something, as you're already a good speaker. Please tell me that how I can improve this thing. I already know tenses, and I already know this particular thing. I know this thing, I know that thing, but still I'm not able to speak properly. So I had this common question from all these friends, all these people. So when I used to get these kind of questions from many people, from my friends, I decided that I need to come up with a solution. And that is what the solution that you are being a part of now. So there are always three kinds of people. Always remember, you may be also lying into these three particular categories: slow level learners, medium level learners, and fast level learners. So these three levels are there: slow, medium, and fast. So you guys also lie somewhere in slow level learning, medium level learning, and fast level learning. So it is important for you to identify. If you already know enough things, then that's great. And I also wanted to bring change in people's thinking, that people think about English grammar and communication skills something very challenging. I get so many calls from the people, and people ask me, sir, is it possible to learn English grammar in just 5 days? This is a common question that I get. How do you judge that? How do you tell us that we are able to understand these things in just 5 days? So guys, it is something important that you need to understand. It's all about right application of the knowledge that you have. You should be able to understand that, yes, I have this knowledge and I need to apply it in this way, and it will become convenient for me to speak effortlessly. So this is the purpose of making this course. Now, let's try to understand what to expect from this course. So on day number 1, today itself, you are going to understand the language learning mechanism. Day number 2 will be all about the foundation of English grammar, where you will understand the soul of English grammar, tenses in English. Many people say that, sir, we already know tenses, but they do not know that how to use them practically. So you will be able to have a grip on understanding all these tenses practically in your life. Day number 3 is all about how you need to correct the sentences. What is the importance of helping verb and main verb? How to remember them. You should be able to understand that you need to build a permanent habit. And in this entire course, to this particular day number 4, you are going to cover something very important things. So from day number 1 to day number 4, I'm going to cover the basic statement formation, the tenses in English, positive, negative sentences, articles and prepositions in English, yes, no type and WH type questions, making 84 to 90 sentences out of one statement, model auxiliary verbs, how to make requests and permissions properly to improve your politeness in your communication. So this is what you are going to learn in the upcoming journey. And there will be a live masterclass on day number 5, where I will help you to understand all these things in just one mind map. So there is an amazing technique that I have found, and I'm going to share that technique with you, which will definitely help you to understand all these things automatically in your life. Okay, now let's try to understand this day number 1, the language learning mechanism. So it is mandatory that you should be able to learn that. You should have the right way of understanding the language. It is very important thing. Now, how did I develop my communication skills and the command over English grammar in my life being in Marathi medium school? Now, many people think that, sir, I always need to think in my mother tongue and then I need to simply translate the sentences. So guys, remember one thing. No one will tell you. Most of the trainers, most of the people, they always suggest one thing. You need to listen, you need to watch, you need to observe, you need to do all those things. But guys, let me tell you very frankly, it is mandatory that in the beginning, you need to understand that from your mother tongue, you should be able to connect to the other language. Okay. It is mandatory for you to take care of both of these things. I will tell you why you need to do this thing. When you learn your mother tongue at that time, there is a different scenario. And when you learn English, any foreign language, there is a different thing. So you need to understand this part very well. So either you need to balance both of the languages. That is the most important thing. Or you need to work on some practical things. So when we talk about this thing, you learn your mother tongue in a different way, which is completely an informal approach. And you are learning this foreign language in formal way. So we are learning the formal set of grammatical rules. We are following some rules. So we do not follow those things for our mother tongue. So this is something what the biggest difference. So when I speak in Marathi at the time, I do not even think about grammar. But when I do speak in English at the time, when I speak at the time, it is mandatory for me to think and then speak. So most of the people are stuck in this particular thing. But if you learn that I already know enough vocabulary, I need to put them in the right order. I need to construct different sentences according to the situation. It will be a wonderful thing to speak in English effortlessly. Right now, I'm not using difficult sentences in front of you. I'm using simple sentences. But the way that I'm talking is something impressive, is something amazing. And this is what you also need to learn. I always find when I speak in front of so many people, whenever I speak on phone call, whenever I give any presentation or any other thing at that time, I always focus on understanding the right intonation, the way I speak, and the most essential part, nothing but you need to maintain that rhythm of speaking when we speak in English language. So that is the most essential thing is, okay? Now, other thing that there is necessity of language. Try to understand this part. Language is just a communication medium. You need to understand. Let it be Marathi, let it be Hindi, let it be Kannada, let it be Malayalam, let it be English, let it be any other language. Language is only made for communication. So today in this competitive world, it is very important to understand the necessity of language learning. Now, when it comes to English at that time, if you go to corporate world or if you go to any school, anywhere you go, you need to understand that people communicate in English, and you also need to do this thing because we need to recognize globally. And that's why it is necessary for all of us to learn this language. Okay. And when we learn this language at that time, we need to tell ourselves that, yes, we can do this thing. Most of the people do not believe. You need to believe, guys. It's very important thing. And when we do this thing, we easily present ourselves. Most of the time when we engage ourselves in any conversation, what are you doing? You are communicating and you are presenting yourself. So people are worried about this technical terms, communication skills and presentation skills. Guys, it is nothing. You do it every single day, but you need to understand the way that it should be done. Okay. Now let's try to understand some important things. So we know this thing that we need to communicate with each other. That is why the purpose of learning any specific languages. So here we're talking about English language. Now we communicate directly with people. So we make communication into two different ways. So first is nothing but direct way of communication. So it happens face to face. We do this communication face to face. Whenever we meet people, we simply talk to them. Now, if there is a meeting virtually nowadays also, you will be able to see that you are talking to person. That is nothing but the face-to-face communication. That is called direct communication. Okay. And we do this communication most of the time in our day-to-day life and professional life. Whenever we meet anyone at the time, let it be your mother tongue or let it be your English, you always talk to people in your life. Okay, so every single time you need to remember that language is spoken whenever you need to communicate. There is just a matter of your native language and English that we need to understand. Listen to all these things carefully. And there is another way that is called indirect way. What we do in this indirect way of communication, we chat on Facebook, WhatsApp. Now we are connected here. I'm sharing this information to you in the group. So that is indirect communication that is happening between us. And we always do it most of the time. So we engage ourselves in communication, isn't it? So don't tell me, so we don't have time to just interact. We don't have time to learn these things. Nothing like that. Don't give me excuses, guys. It is very important that you are nothing but the person to change your own way of understanding this particular language. Okay. So you always involve yourself in direct communication and indirect communication. So you need to understand there is always a time to improve your language. That is the most essential thing is. Now, in lesson number 1, I'm going to make you understand my language learning mechanism, which will help you to understand your language learning mechanism too. You will be able to decide why you should know this amazing framework to learn this particular language. Okay. So now this is the thing that you need to understand. Why it is mandatory that whatever that I have done for you, you are going to do the same thing, and it will be helpful for you to improve your own language learning mechanism and your own language learning experience. Now, let's try to understand the LOSRW technique. Now, what is this LOSRW technique is? I'm sure that at the end of the video, you will be confident to follow this particular technique. So let's enjoy one story. That is nothing but the John's story. Okay. Pause the video for some time and read the entire story. Now, I hope you have read the entire story. I will read the story for you now. John was a very cute boy. His parents became very happy when he smiled for the first time. Now, John has become 1 year old and he can speak few words. John was listening and observing different activities and things around him. Now, John is 4 years old and he started speaking basic sentences very well. But he is not able to read and write the sentences. So his parents decided to send him to school. He started to understand basic sentences. And now, after a few years, John is very happy and he also started reading and writing different sentences from his life. Now, what do you understand here? Are you able to observe the LOSRW technique? The same story is applicable to you also. When you were a child at that time, just imagine, instead of John, you are the person in this particular story. I'm the person in this story. So this story is relatable to each and every one of us. Now, same thing has happened with you. When you were born at that time, your parents were happy. Okay. And when you were born at that time, you were not able to speak for sure. Then you started speaking few words, few sentences. After that, what happened? How did you learn that thing? You simply listen and observe. First two letters, LO. Then you started speaking on the basis of two important aspects, only listening and observing. You got inputs through listening and observation, and that helped you to speak your native language. But you were not able to read and write. For that purpose, what you did? You simply went to school. You learned something in school. You started scribbling something. You started reading. You started learning alphabets and numbers and everything. But let me tell you the same thing. Okay, let's try to apply this same thing. Now you will understand this particular thing. So when we learn our native language, that let it be Hindi and Marathi. In my case, I speak Marathi and I also speak Hindi well. But there are different languages for different people. As our country is unity in the diversity, we believe in this. So we have people who speak Kannada, who speak Malayalam, who speak Telugu, who speak Gujarati, who speak so many languages according to their own region. So you have learned this language in this natural way of understanding this thing. So this is the LOSRW technique, and we are going to follow this technique for English also. But guys, when we compare this thing with English language, now if you ask this particular technique, if you apply this to foreign guys, those people who are living in foreign, in United States of America, in United Kingdom or European countries, now they have been listening to this language, and that is why they are able to speak English. Ask them to speak our native language. Are they able to speak? Will they be able to speak? No. Why? Because their language learning mechanism is different for their own native language. They will not be able to speak our native language, and we are not able to speak their native language. That is the basic difference. So we learn our native language through a different perspective. And when it comes to English at that time, we have different things. So now we speak two different types of languages. Two types of languages are there. First is native language, second is foreign language. When it comes to native language at that time, what is this thing? So in my case, it is Marathi and Hindi. You can choose your language. And here is the language that you are here to learn. That is nothing but English. Now, we learn this in our childhood automatically. We do not even care about any specific part, but we learn English when we go to school. Before that, we do not even get in touch with this language. In my case also, I was introduced to this language when I was in first standard. Most of the people, they also are facing the similar kind of problem. So when you go to school and when you want to pass this examination in your 10th and 12th standard for secondary and higher secondary school education, then you realize that I want to learn this thing so that I can get good marks. That is our theory. That's what you need to understand. But right now, guys, we are here to learn this language to make fortune, not a normal living. So always remember, your formal education will make you a living, but the self-education will make you fortune. And this is what you are investing your time and money for self-education and not a formal education, right? So these are the two ways of understanding languages. Now let's try to understand some things in more detail. So we always have four aspects of every language. First is nothing but listening. When a child is born, listening is active. After some days, after 19 months, the brain development starts and the child also starts observing and understanding so many things. So second is nothing but speaking. Only because of listening and only because of observation, you are able to speak. So for that purpose, we simply try to understand. After listening and observing, we start speaking, and we go to school, we start reading, and we also start writing. So this is the flow and the aspects of every single language. But if we apply the same aspects to English at that time, there is something different that we observe. Okay. Now, when we try to apply the same thing, let me ask you these questions. First thing, you can listen English, simple thing. If I ask you, can you listen? Yes. If I ask you the second thing, can you read English? Yes, you can read English. If I ask you another thing, can you write something in English? Yes, sir, we are able to write in English. We can write in English. But when it comes to observation, do you observe people? You do not observe people, but you can observe people. That is the LOSRW technique is. And next thing, when it comes to speaking at that time, that is why we are here, sir. There is problem with speaking. That is what we are not able to do. So this is what the hard truth that you need to understand. Most of the people, they are in this phase and they are completely stuck. Sir, सब कुछ आता है लेकिन बोलना ही नहीं आता. This is what people say. There are so many people, they always face this kind of problem. So let's try to understand something important. Let's clear the mind blocks now. What are these mind blocks? So the first thing that you need to understand. Many people believe that I understand English, but I cannot speak. Try to understand this thing very well, guys. Whenever you say that I understand English at that time, you need to understand one thing. You have partial understanding. When you listen to someone, right now also you are listening to me, you are trying to understand the words that are already known to you. Okay? And your mind is making certain guesses. And because of those guesses, you are trying to understand the meaning. And this is what you call understanding. But this is not the right way of understanding things. That's what you need to understand. So this is partial understanding. You are able to understand the meanings of words that are already known to you. And you are not able to understand the way that the sentence should be understood in the grammatical approach. So it is mandatory for you to understand this thing also, which will definitely help you to improve your written and spoken communication. Next thing, grammatical mistakes are accepted. Most of the people say grammar is not important at all. You simply need to listen and watch. Guys, remember, I just explained you, if you are able to speak English by just listening and watching something, by observing people, and when it comes to writing and reading, will you again go to learn the same thing? No. So that is what the most essential thing that you need to understand. You need to learn the right set of grammatical rules. I call it functional grammar. Once you understand functional grammar, it will help you to understand right in a better way, and it will also help you to speak in a better way. That is what the most essential thing that you need to understand. So guys, grammatical mistakes are accepted when it comes to informal English. But remember, one should not make mistake in most essential part of grammar, like changing the tenses at all. You are thinking about present and you are talking in past, not this serious mistakes. Few mistakes are accepted. I do believe in that, as there is no perfect person in the entire world. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. No one is perfect. If you're looking for that one person who is perfect in English grammar and every other language, these people do not exist at all. So just accept this thing. Few errors are accepted. But if you simply believe that grammar is not at all important, then this is something not a right choice that you have. Next thing, when we talk about this particular part, many people believe that, sir, we do not know many words. We do not have enough set of vocabulary. No, guys, just look around yourself. Try to say that how many words that you say in your native language. Very few words are there that you speak in your native language. Most of the words that are already known to you in English only. So we will definitely work on this thing in upcoming videos, which will help you to understand many things. So vocabulary is not an issue. The most essential part is how to use that vocabulary, how to use these words to construct different sentences. That is the most essential thing. Okay. Now, next thing, half knowledge is dangerous. Most of the people say that I know tenses. Guys, you know, I believe in that. I appreciate that. But one thing that you need to understand, if you have half knowledge, then it is really dangerous. If you believe that I can make this much sentences, that much sentences, but if you are not able to apply the right set of sentences in right situations, then this is really, really risky thing for you. So half knowledge is dangerous. Those people who have partial knowledge of all those things, this is not acceptable and this is not recommended for them. So it is mandatory that you should at least learn some things properly, which will help you to understand in simple way. After that, many people say, sir, guys, sir, you're telling this thing, but knowledge is the key to success. You also say this thing. Yes, guys, I believe that knowledge is the key to success. But whenever this knowledge is utilized in your life, when you apply this knowledge in your life, then it becomes a good thing for you. Otherwise, only knowledge is not important at all. Keep this thing in your mind. Now, after this, many people say, so confidence is also required. Confidence to hona chahiye, hame English bolna hai, confidence to hona chahiye. So, what is confidence, guys? Remember one thing. Most of the people say that I do not have confidence. Most of the people say, sometimes when I try to speak in English at that time, I suddenly get stuck. I feel nervous. I get stressed. Why does it happen? Yes, there is no enough confidence with you. What is confidence, guys? Let's try to understand what is the meaning of confidence, and let's try to understand the parachute story. So now there are 4 people. 4 of them are standing at the peak of the mountain. Okay. Now, when they are standing at the peak of the mountain at that time, they are not even able to understand the concept of confidence, overconfidence, underconfidence, and daring. So now 4 of the people have given 4 parachutes, and they are told that you simply need to jump and make the successful landing. If you do not make the successful landing, you will fail and you will be died. Now, what happens in this case at that time? It's a very simple thing that you need to understand. There is a person who only has daring in life. The person goes and directly jumps from the peak of the mountain. When he jumps at that time, he doesn't know what to do next, but he only has daring to do. That is not a good thing. There is second person who has underconfidence. He doesn't know that how to take the action. And that is why he is not even taking the action at all. Because he is underconfidence. He doesn't have enough knowledge about it. So he says that I don't know anything. I'm not going to jump at all. So he quits there. There is one person who is overconfident. When you have overconfidence at that time, you lie in the half knowledge category, which is very, very dangerous. So there is a third person who directly jumps and he goes there. When he jumps at that time, he's not aware that how I can switch on the parachute, how I can just pull that particular button, how I can push that thing and I can just make the successful landing when the parachute will open properly. So he is only aware about one thing. He's only overconfidence that yes, I will go and I will jump and I will make the successful landing. But he is not aware about the proper switch that he needs to pull, and he needs to open the parachute. So that is the most essential thing about overconfidence. And when it comes to confidence, there is a fourth person who has proper level of confidence. He is confident about whatever he is doing. So the person number 4, he knows very, very well. He is confident enough. So when he makes the landing, whenever he just jumps from the mountain, at that time, he tries to understand that, yes, at this altitude, I need to push the right button. I need to simply understand that there is a safety switch. That is nothing but the left button if the right switch doesn't work. So he knows this thing very well and he makes the successful landing. That is what the confidence is. If you have proper knowledge, then you will have confidence. If you have partial knowledge, you will have overconfidence. If you do not have knowledge, you will feel underconfidence. And if you only have a daring to do something, it will not help you at all. So you lie in between a specific stage that you are just going through. So this is what the importance of confidence in your life is. Now, these are all the mind blocks that you need to clear from your mind itself. And most of the people are struggling for this particular thing only. They are not even able to understand all those things. There are so many myths that these people have. So these are the common myths that we have busted here. Okay. Now, let's hear the story of rider number 1 and rider number 2. Now, there are 2 riders also. What happens with rider 1? He only knows how to ride the bike. So in his entire journey, if he sees that there is some problem with the vehicle, his journey will be stopped. He will not be able to continue the journey because he is only aware about riding the bike. He doesn't know how to repair it, how to solve the problem. But there is rider number 2 who knows very well that whenever I will go for my entire journey, and if there is any specific problem with my bike, with my vehicle, what I will do? I will simply repair it. I will check how to just solve the problem and I will continue the journey. So which rider do you want to become? Whether you want to become rider 1 or whether you want to become rider 2. So obviously everyone wants to become rider number 2. So in the journey of improving these communication skills, English grammar, most of the people are lying in rider number 1. What they are feeling, that I just want to continue my journey and I do not want to understand that how I can clear my problems, how I can correct myself. But you need to become rider number 2. You need to become a person who will be able to make the mistakes, correct them on their own, and continue the journey of communication skills. That is what the most essential thing is. Okay. Now, we need to develop some important habits, and they are nothing but you need to listen properly. We need to read every single day. We also need to write something in English as you do regularly, and we also need to observe people. And if you make this habit permanent for you, and it will be easy thing for you to understand that you will be able to speak English effortlessly in your life. That is the most essential thing that you need to understand in your life. Now, what are the different types of sentences that we need to learn? It's not only about learning this kind of things. We also need to understand that there are so many simple sentences that we need to observe from our own life. Every single person has different set of sentences in their own life. Whenever we will discuss these things about the 4-slot technique and the data bank sheet, it will help you to understand properly automatically in your life. You will get this thing on day number 3. So there are imperative sentences also that we speak most of the time. So we use imperative sentences most of the time. When you have lunch or dinner at that time, we simply say, please give me a chapati. Okay. You simply say, give me some rice. Please take a glass of water, something like that. We use so many imperative sentences. We also need to understand yes, no type questions and WS type questions, where you need to understand the power of asking questions. On day number 4, you will be able to understand how to form different questions in English. And it is all about making proper requests and permissions. And if you learn all those things, guys, you can speak English effortlessly. You can speak English fluently. That is what you need to understand. So next 4 days are nothing but amazing for you. You are going to understand some amazing things. You are going to build some permanent habits for you. And the journey of this particular 5-day program is going to be wonderful for you. Okay. Now, it is time to take some action and to complete the task. Right after watching the video, you need to do this 3 tasks. Task number 1, you need to take action today only. You simply need to write down the reason. I want to improve English because. Why you need to improve your English? Write it down and post it in the group. Second, you need to understand that as you have removed the mind blocks, you need to simply experience this thing. You need to share your experience of the day 1 and you need to put whatever you feel about it in the group only. And task number 3, the language learning mechanism. You need to simply type this thing. You need to post this thing in the group that I will follow the LOSRW technique. So that is what this importance of understanding the language learning mechanism. Okay. So it will take few minutes only to type these things and post it to the group. Whenever you post this task in the group, you make yourself accountable that yes, if I'm writing something, if I'm making publicly that yes, I want to learn English for this purpose, I will definitely speak English. I believe in me. I have cleared all the blocks in my mind. When you declare it publicly at that time, you become accountable for yourself. And as we have so many members in the group, you will be able to learn so many things from them also. That is the power of learning together. Okay. So that's it for the day, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to share your experience and complete the task and post them to the group. That's it for the day. And I will see you tomorrow in the next video on day number 2. Keep learning, keep growing.